that you have seen the thumbnail. Today we'll be talking about privatization. I hope all of you are on strike for the next 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. So we'll talk about privatization in this issue in this edition. Before that, I would like to request all of you to subscribe to Knowledgist. Here we bring banking videos that are necessary for students of bank exams, bank employees, etc. So my sincere request to all of you to subscribe us. So why this privatization issue is rocking all the bankers' mindset and the entire banking scenario in India? Because government has proposed to privatize 2 public sector banks in this fiscal year, and that's not all. Government is going to soon reduce its stake in 100 public sector undertakings. So this is not at all a good news for bank employees or those who are aspiring to join public sector bank as their career option. So yes, I am very much interested to understand why this privatization is going on, how to stop it. I am with the agitation and I am working on it. I know that privatization is not good for employees. That is one thing that I must concede at the start of this video. Privatization is not at all good for employees, and I have worked with both private banks and public sector banks, and let me tell you, the culture in private banks are worst. Yes, it's worst, let me tell you. But privatization is also very much necessary for government to raise its money. So how should we protest and what should be our demand? We'll discuss all that. If you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe us. So let me tell you that this moment, whatever moment our unions, we bankers are taking forward is just to stop privatization. But why this privatization is necessary? Just to raise money. Money for what? Money to run the country, money to run the nation, right? So disinvestment is a capital receipt target for the government. If you talk about budget, government has 2 sources to generate income, and that is, one is revenue receipt, the other one is the capital receipt. And in capital receipt, a major chunk of the capital receipt comes from this disinvestment. Disinvestment is selling its stake from public sector entities to the private ones. Why it is necessary? Because our government and our nation is running in deficit. So for deficit financing, it's necessary or disinvestment, and the government has a huge target. But while we all are protesting against the government, against the policy of the government, we must realize that this protest should not be hijacked by the anti-nationals, and it should not become another anti-national protest. Like few elements jumped into the farmers' protest and hijacked its one intention. So while we are protesting, refrain from making any political statement. This is my sincere request. We are working on it. Don't hijack it, and I request all the political leaders to refrain from the protest. It should be a bankers' protest, and you can voice our concerns in parliament, you can voice our concerns in particular field, but don't try to hijack it. Don't make it an anti-national movement or anti-Modi movement. We are against the policy of the government. And remember, let me tell everyone here that this disinvestment is not started by this Modi government. This has started in the year 1992 when LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization come into effect, and that time Congress was in power. Dr. Manmohan Singh was the finance minister and he has proposed it. So there is no use of any political party to get mileage out of the privatization issue. And yes, in developed countries like USA, there is no government-owned banks. So if India wants to be an economy, if India wants to prosper, they have to privatize few entities. I understand that one. But if few political leaders want to get momentum out of this movement, our agenda will be hijacked. And at the same time, empty protest is not any worth. This will only deduct 2 days salaries of hard working bankers in India. So if you want to protest it for long, protest in a constructive way, protest as it is, as it could be hard. You have to make a regular trend on social medias, do it, but don't make it for an iOS, because still now there are so many protests about wage revision, but wage revision happened in its due course. It seems that all the protests, all the days when our bankers lost their money, lost their hard-earned income, is just sacrificed it. They have got no benefit. In the name of bipartite settlement, they got very meager amount of the salary hike. So please don't make it an iOS, because the unions know that there is a sentiment prevailing among the bankers about the privatization. Just to ride over the tide, you will do one thing, you will announce the strike, but that will not serve the purpose. You have to come with an economic agenda. You have to come with an economic alternative to the privatization. Let me tell you, today you all are viewing me. My last video on privatization was having 25,000 views, but 25,000 views. You people are asking so many questions, but I am telling you, privatization are going to happen at any cost. It will happen. Whatever agenda, whatever strike you do, it is going to happen. It's definite, it is going to happen. What can we do? We can offer an alternative. We will not allow these banks to sell into private entities. We will come up with an economic plan. We are working on it, and for last 4-5 days I'm not taking regular classes, though my star educators are taking it, but I'm not taking it. I am into this discussion. We are with teams, those who are discussing an economic alternative to this disinvestment, economic alternative to this bank privatization. If government is going to get enough income out of banks, then they will never privatize, because this is only about generating money, generating capital receipt to run the government, right? So what we want, even if there is a privatization, it should be in the mode of follow-on public offer, so that the stakeholding will be transferred from government to the general public of India, and in a way government will have the majority stake in the banks, and at the same time the banks, the employees of the banks, the bankers, public sector bankers will remain public sector bankers forever, right? Their rights to be protected, their legitimate concerns to be heard. We are working on that agenda. So employee benefit to remain same. If they want to move from one bank to another bank, they can give a request under certain circumstances, that request to be addressed, and all these small banks or number 4, number 5 banks to be merged. Either there should be 1 or 2 banks, and then government can think of selling their stake, right? So these are the agendas we are working. So my sincere request, all of you, to understand why this privatization is. Is it a anti people's protest? No. Sorry, anti people's policy? No. It is, if you see, all the economists are with the privatization. So the union leaders, I am not against the union leaders, I am not against unions. Unions have requested me to come out and speak, but I will speak my heart out. I will not sell myself to anyone, to any organization, and I will not tell I will not tell what is not the reality. If I could tell about privatization and I will tell about the protest, I may get more views, but that is not about views. This is all about the sincere attempts that we are making, and we have to make banks a better place to work for. I am telling, at the same time I am telling, as a banker, I am against the privatization. As a citizen, I know that privatization is going to happen for the better good. Yes, I know the situation in private entities and situation in private banks, but if these banks, these public sector banks, is going to become private in coming days, the environment for the employees should not be changed. We have to look into protecting their rights. See, this should be our agenda, and we should understand why this privatization is happening in India. Who started it? Any government. be it Congress government, be it Communist Party government, any government would come into the power, they will also go with privatization. Don't believe that this government is only taking step about the privatization. Was there no disinvestment target during UPA government? There was a huge disinvestment target. Everyone was selling the stake, and in 21st century, governments are refraining from becoming profit-making entities. They are more of non-profit making entities. They are into governance. So running business like merchants is not governing the country. And remember one thing, let me tell you, populist governments are not good in long run. Populist governments are just for their vote banks. Populist governments are not worth having. If you are economic students, if you have seen public administration from close distance, you will understand these concepts. Okay. So yes, hi Abhishek. So this is the thing I wanted to tell every single protester, anyone who is protesting it. This protest should be a long run protest. This protest should come with an economic alternative, not without knowledge. Many I see these union leaders, those who are protesting on behalf of you, are not the economists, are not going to take you anywhere, because if they would have taken you to anywhere, they would have given your salary due in real time. So please come with a new agenda, come with the leaders, those who can really make the difference and really make it happen. So this is all in this edition. I would like you to subscribe to this channel. We will, yes, news about private, hi Naresh, yes, news about privatization is always there. I have already shared a video on that. Government may sell, I'm the first one to tell that government may sell profit making banks first. So this was my first news. Then Anurag Thakur has come in public and said it. So this was the very first day when there was a privatization news, the video is there. You can see that government may sell, let me tell you, government may sell profit making PSUs first, because remember, this is all about disinvestment target. If government sell non-profit making entities, then they cannot raise the desired amount of money, desired amount of disinvestment target. So government will go with, definitely they will go with banks that are making huge profit this time. So everyone should be cautious about it, should come with an economic agenda. We should have to gather, we should have to make our presence feel. So in these ways we can make the difference. Let me tell you, privatization will happen. At any cost will happen. Your roads will not matter. But you can come up with a better economic viability. Right? So this is in this edition. I hope you understood the facts about privatization, the hidden agendas, and some ruckus around this privatization news. I will come up with more news because we are busy for the coming 2 days schedule. So I will come up with more news post Tuesday. Maybe after Wednesday I will be available in this channel 24/7, but as of now till Wednesday I am running busy with all this mess around the privatization. I have power packed meetings tomorrow and day after tomorrow. I will love if you join this movement. Stay subscribed. The coming news will be published within a week in this channel. Thank you. Thank you for being with Knowledgist, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.